I am. Yeah, I am ready.
All right, Matt. Tell me who you are and what you do.
I'm the greatest rapper alive. I just wanted you to have that for your own personal use. My name is Matt Phillips. I'm a musician from Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I write songs and I lead a band called Matt Phillips and the Philharmonic. I'm 22 years old. I'm almost 23. I live with my parents and I drive a car that could use some work. I play guitar mostly. I also play drums and sing and play harmonica, play a little bit of bass, and a little bit of keyboard. Gotta think about all those. I also own and run a small music collective in Chapel Hill called Three Corners Collective. I'm a bartender at Local 506. And I am one of the property managers at a place called the Cozy Log Cabin, which is a private venue and event space in Chatham County. And I lived in a retired hippie bus all summer. That's about what I got.
Tell me that one story about when you were a kid and your mom forgot.
Oh, right. When I was 4, I really wanted to be on the soccer team because everybody cool was on the soccer team. Duh. And so I asked my mom to sign me up for the soccer team for my birthday. And my mom's a little bit of a space cadet, bless her, and she forgot. So she felt really bad and she bought me a keyboard for my brother's guitar teacher. And for the longest time, after I would get out of the bathtub in the evening, I would lock myself in my room. I would sit and play the piano with my hands and feet completely naked. And it was at that time that I discovered that I really liked music and that I felt very comfortable with it, so to speak. Yeah, I remember like discovering octaves and like majors and minors at that point, not like attributing names to them, being like, that sounds like this thing and that sounds like that thing. And so keyboard was kind of how I started. And my grandma had a piano that I would go and play little melodies on sometimes. Pick out stuff from the radio, mostly. But
Hey, tell me about your writing process and about, what's it called?
oh, synesthesia? Word. I guess those are kind of two different things. I have chromesthetic synesthesia, which is a fancy word for seeing pretty colors when you hear music and making mental associations about them. Basically, it's not like when I hear a certain key, I'm flooded with one color. I just sort of have a palette of colors, like a painter might have a palette set up based on the general key and mood of a song or a piece. And it's kind of hard for me to separate it from other senses, but it took me a long time to realize that not everybody has that. In fact, most people don't have it. There's a lot of different types of synesthesia, I guess. You can have it with colors or letters or numbers or things like that, but for me it's based on pitch. I have perfect pitch as well. So I can like hear a note and pretty well guess about where it is, on the frequency spectrum, or on a keyboard. Yeah, it's pretty useless to be truthful. I can tune my guitar pretty well, but I still use the tuner. It's like one of those things. But it really helps me gain a sense of the tuning of my voice and the tuning of my guitar when I bend strings and things like that. And so that kind of combined with the shading of the colors in the palette will influence sort of what colors I perceive, and I think that helps me kind of arrange the tones in a song and then write from that group of tones. When I write songs, it usually takes a pretty good amount of time. I used to write very prolifically, like a song a day, and just try to really write as much as I could. And over the past few years, that's really slowed. I went through a very quiet period where I didn't really write at all. I was in some relationships that kind of choked me a little bit, and it wasn't bad. It was good for my personal development, but I think I just wasn't filled with thoughts that I felt compelled to write about. And that's one of my personal missions, is to try and write music that is both autobiographical and meaningful to me, and also written with enough creativity in the language, I suppose, to allow others to make their own assumptions and interpret as it, I guess, relates to their life and their existence. So right now I'm writing pretty slowly, but I have a lot of tunes that I care a lot about. And so I do my best to write most of the music first, and then kind of work on the vocal melody, and then think about how that song makes me feel. I like to play it a lot of different ways and contexts and kind of sit on it for a while, and I'll record demos and listen to them while I'm driving, or cleaning the house or things like that. I play guitar every day. I teach guitar lessons and play in other people's groups as well. Just started playing guitar for a band called Mike the Prophet, and there'll be some other production projects in the future that I'll be playing guitar on. And that stuff is a lot easier for me to pick up and co-write, but my stuff that's attached to my name, I feel a lot of internalized, I feel a lot of internal directive to make sure that all my songs are really finely crafted and they don't come out until they're ready, whether that's production or the actual composition of the piece, because I think that I'm really not good at anything but music, and so if I don't do music right, I'm kind of doing myself a disservice. So I feel like it's my cross to bear to make sure that every song is really well crafted.
What makes you happy, man?
What makes me happy? I really, really like making other people happy. It's really easy when you can make music, and other people play music to sort of like, I don't know. I see a lot of different types of musicianship, and a lot of people really just enjoy picking up an instrument and making sound, and the cathartic sort of kinesthetic aspect, like doing the thing, making the thing. And I really enjoy that part, and have always enjoyed that part. But I got good enough at it that I was communicative enough on my instrument, whether that be voice or drums or guitar or whatever, to help create a vibe that other people can attach to. And as a strong supporter of other people's music as well, and going to shows and things like that, I really respect a group of people that can bring a vibe to a place, whether that's music or religion, like spiritual group in a church or worship service or something like that, or even like, okay, gotcha. Just like,
just keep going until it dies.
Okay.
It's gonna die.
ASAP. So I really enjoy like creating a vibe with people, and there's this feeling that I get in my gut when I know that I've reached people. It's like a really low feeling. I get it a lot of times during bluegrass. Like I can tell when I have everybody's attention, even if my eyes are closed. And when I would busk, I would get that feeling and my eyes would be closed. I'd be standing on the street corner, and then I'd look up, open my eyes, and there would be people there. And I will have known that they were there, but not actually seen them. It's like this weird sixth sense where I just feel like it's what I'm supposed to be doing.